Last week, the Department of Defense released a collection of declassified videos of UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. Now, before we go forward, I feel I should be transparent about my own position on this matter. I absolutely, literally 100% believe that there is life on other planets, possibly in space, possibly in environments that defy our understanding of life. I think, given time and enough time to launch more probes or, ideally, explore the galaxy ourselves, we will find that life in the form of microbes, bacteria, and even in the form of complex life. The reasons for this are based on hard science. Our world inhabits the Goldilocks region of our star system and is made up of elements that are common throughout the cosmos. So, our world is proof of concept that complex life can arise in such circumstances. And with hundreds of billions of stars in our own galaxy and trillions of planets, many of which in the Goldilocks zones of their own star systems, the fact is that statistically, odds are some of those worlds will have all the right circumstances in which life can emerge. And I think it's also very likely that we're going to find life somewhere that defies our understanding of life. In the late 1970s, submersible technology was developed to the point that expeditions could be launched into the deepest depths of our oceans, into regions of the ocean that were always dark because sunlight could not penetrate that much water. And in the absence of light, and in the immense pressure of the deep ocean, scientists did not think that life could exist down there at all. They thought those deep regions would be a vast desert. What happened? They found life. So much life. They found whole ecosystems around the carcasses of large animals from the upper, sunlit regions of the ocean that had died and sunk to the ocean depths. And around volcanic vents, ecosystems also emerged. Ecosystems that did not need sunlight to produce energy. Ecosystems which use heat or chemosynthesis as the foundation of their ecologies. Ecosystems that were founded on extremophile life forms that thrived in water temperatures of hundreds of degrees. Life shows us that it is resilient, adaptable, formidable, and I'm very certain that out there in the cosmos, there is life. And I also think that out there is intelligent life, but we have to take a moment and consider intelligence. You see, while I don't talk about it a lot on this channel, my own field is psychology, in particular the study of the nature of consciousness and how intelligence emerges from complex situations. I say situations because groups of organisms can form emergent intelligences in and of themselves. Like, for example, the combined organisms of a forest can emerge to become something like an intelligent superorganism that can regulate its own environment. Forests are very capable of keeping the understory cool and even inducing rain in times of drought. A forest superorganism is capable of communicating information between its members and self-balancing and maintaining their ecosystems as long as nothing unexpected or disastrous happens that throws off the balance. So yes, I'm certain that there is intelligence out there too. The fact is, high intelligence isn't all that unique. There are many animals here in the world that come close to human-level intelligence. Corvids, for example, blackbirds, in particular ravens, have very high levels of intelligence. Intelligence to the point that we have to start to compare them against human intelligence. Corvids, for example, have languages. The languages differ from region to region, just like human languages. Wolves are also extremely intelligent, to the point that we have to begin to compare them against human intelligence. And the list goes on. But we don't see blackbirds and wolves making complex machines, or building structures, or composing symphonies, or creating complex tools, because nature has not evolved them that way. These organisms do not have the digits to create and manipulate complex tools and machines, and their intelligence is of a different nature than our intelligence. Their intelligence is highly concrete and literal, responding and adapting to the needs the world throws out at them according to the capabilities of their own bodies. Wolves are fast, pack hunter predators. Their intelligence helps them to maintain their population so they do not overtap their ecosystems, and it helps them understand their ecosystems so that they can hunt effectively. Ravens can fly, they're omnivores, they're adaptable to what their environments throw at them. So their intelligence equips them to handle their environments, to find food and get at food even in difficult places and situations, to adapt to changing food circumstances so that they can thrive in a number of discrete environments. We humans, on the other hand, are like nature's ultimate generalists. We're not especially fast, we're not especially strong, we cannot fly. Our survival skill is being generalists, and that is a risky survival skill in and of itself, and I can prove that scientifically because more or less 20 species of humans have existed in this world in the last couple million years, and they're all extinct except for Homo sapiens, us. For us to succeed with our bodies as they are, we needed to develop another skill. We needed to not just develop intelligence, we needed a specialized kind of intelligence. We needed abstract intelligence that could precisely communicate ideas with our peers so that we could build the structures and tools that we need to survive, and that could understand the environments better than competing organisms so that we could take advantage of it better in order to survive among those organisms. And through either sheer dumb luck or perhaps coevolution, we needed to develop the ability to make use of that intelligence. In other words, we needed erect bodies that left our arms free to do things such as handle weapons and manipulate tools, and we needed hands with discrete digits and opposable thumbs in order to manipulate weapons and control tools. In other words, a complex of extraordinary circumstances led to the emergence of humans after several billion years of life existing on Earth. And our unique form of intelligence not only allowed us to adapt to the environment very successfully, but it also gave us the ability, and even led to the inclination, to develop complex tools and increasingly complex machines and structures, which ultimately led to the widespread development of highly abstract and complex language, which allowed us to share ideas, which allowed for the development of civilization, technology, space travel, astronomy and astrophotography, and so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that, while life needs a specific set of circumstances to arise, that specific set of circumstances probably exists in many places. For intelligence to appear, one probably needs complex organisms, but there are many types of intelligence that can emerge once you have complex organisms. But for intelligence to emerge that develops the machinery to reach out to the stars, whether by communication or the development of spaceships, a particular set of circumstances, and perhaps some statistically extremely unlikely evolutionary luck is required. So, I think that the emergence of complex technological intelligence in the cosmos is going to be exceedingly rare. Very likely it's out there, but I wouldn't want to guess at how frequently it emerges. Also, since we only have ourselves as examples, it may be that it emerges very rarely in any given instance of time. Out of the 4.5 billion years that our world has been around, for example, Homo sapiens have only been around perhaps 300,000 years. There is some newly emerging evidence that our species might be a bit older, but I don't know that it's well established yet. If we divide the 300,000 years that we know our species has existed into the 4.5 billion year age of Earth, we see that humans have only existed for 0.000066% of Earth's entire history. The fact is, all the history of humankind from the earliest prodromal ages to the present day is less than the blink of an eye on an evolutionary scale of time, and far, far less than the age of our own Earth, and even less in consideration of the age of the cosmos, making the appearance of our kind of technological intelligence possibly as transient as the beating of a fly's wing, in contrast to cosmic scales of time. So, it's very likely that not only are the circumstances for the emergence of complex, technologically capable intelligence not only statistically very rare, but it may be that such intelligence is so ephemeral in the grand scheme of time that it may be unlikely for intelligences to run across each other. Ultimately, what I'm saying is that while I'm certain there is life out there, I really doubt that aliens are visiting Earth. So, for the sake of transparency, I want to put that out up front. As in, I doubt that an alien intelligences are visiting Earth so much that I would say that my own certainty is close to 100%. So, as many persons know, the US government has been touting that it's going to declassify and drop a bunch of UAP videos. I've looked at all the ones dropped so far, and to be quite honest, I don't think anybody with experience flying, whether that's aircraft or drones, anything where they've had to observe terrain through video cameras from the air, causing them to have become familiar with the effects of zoom and parallax, is going to be impressed by these videos, and that's especially the case if they also have experience with low-light imaging or thermal imaging. Most of these videos are either aircraft or some form of rocket seen from a distance, or balloons of various kind, and they look like they're moving fast and zipping around quite wildly, simply because of the effects of parallax. let's take a moment and talk about what parallax is. Parallax is the apparent difference in position or movement of two different objects viewed along different lines of sight, and it's especially apparent when looking at objects through magnification. Let's say I'm looking at an object in front of a background through magnification. Magnification multiplies how big an object is, making it look closer. So if the first object was 10 feet away and I have 5 power magnification, the first object will be magnified to look 2 feet away. If the background, though, is 1,000 feet away, it will magnify the background so it looks like it's 200 feet away. Or, in other words, everything looks about 80% closer or bigger. This means that the background will appear to get much closer to us than the object in the foreground. After all, the foreground object only appeared to close in by 8 feet, whereas the background object appeared to close in by 800 feet. Photographers and videographers refer to this effect as flattening. Magnifying lenses appear to compress distant objects with close objects. An effect caused by the fact that distant objects will appear to be enlarged more than objects in the foreground. So, because of this, magnifying lenses have a way of compressing everything in the foreground and background together. If the observing camera is in motion, in particular moving around but staying centered on the object in the foreground, the background will appear to whip by due to that magnification effect. This can create an illusion that an object is moving very rapidly across a background. Let me illustrate. Here, I'm using the virtual planetarium space engine to portray a spacecraft against a view of stars. The spacecraft is only a few hundred meters away. The stars are light years away. The spacecraft is absolutely stationary in space. I'm creating the illusion that it is whipping by panning the camera to the left at the same time as moving the camera back. Zoomed in, the effect is even more powerful. This is a camera trick that I often use to create a special effect in my educational videos of movement of objects such as spacecraft in space. It can also create the illusion that the object is maneuvering, either in small janky movements or in large maneuvers. If the person holding the camera is unsteady, as persons holding cameras always are, the object in the foreground will appear to jank. Let's add some hand movements and see what happens. Once again, bear in mind that at no time is the object actually moving. I'm simply moving the virtual camera around the object, creating a parallax effect that very convincingly simulates movement. Using the same effect, I'm going to make it look as if the object is changing course. At no time does the object actually move. I'm simply changing the position around the camera. The powerful parallax effect is created because I have zoomed in the virtual camera times 10. This brings the virtual object closer and the virtual stars much closer, and introduces a powerful parallax effect where the stars seem to be zipping around the object, creating the illusion of substantial movement. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at what Admiral Galadet, who is a member of the Seoul Foundation, says is the most impressive video from the lot that was declassified and released to the general public. This one. What is happening here is an aircraft, very likely a Reaper drone, with a highly zoomed camera, probably operating in infrared with hot being black, is observing a small object in the foreground while a human operator controls the camera on its gimbals in order to keep the object more or less centered. You can see a lot of slight movement in the camera. That's natural human handshake, which happens to any photographer trying to photograph anything at a distance. We can't be exactly sure what the object is. I suspect it's either a small balloon or perhaps a drone, either moving very slowly or stationary. Quadcopter drones can hover just as well as they can fly. We have no frame of reference to know what size the object actually is, nor what it actually is, nor how it's moving, nor where it's moving, no directional information. All that information has been blacked out. Those blacked out boxes around the left, upper part, and right side of the screen, that's the information that might have told us something useful about what's in this video. All we see is an object in the distance. In the first part of the video, the object appears to be flying very rapidly toward the left. This is the result of parallax error that I was mentioning. and there is a lot of parallax creating the illusion of movement in this video. Reaper drones can accurately identify a vehicle from 10 to 15 miles away. That's far more magnification than the telescope that I use for astrophotography. Then the object appears to change course. The object hasn't changed course. Very likely the object is either stationary or not moving very fast at all. And if it's a balloon, it's not moving any faster than the wind can push it. And if it's a drone, say a small quadcopter drone, the kind of thing a lot of persons use for aerial photography, then it's probably not moving more than 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Or it could just be hovering. Quadcopter drones can hover just as easily as they can move while flying. Reaper drones have wings. Unlike quadcopter drones that can't stop and hover, they have to stay in motion to maintain lift. So the observing Reaper drone has changed course while the camera operator has kept the drone's camera targeting the small object. The change in movement creates a parallax shift that now makes the drone look like it's racing in the other direction. Admiral Galadet claimed that the object was maneuvering between the wind turbines. Chances are the object is well above those turbines and it's not maneuvering at all. In fact, I'm going to demonstrate that to you. Watch the perspective on the asserted UFO here. It seems to pass behind these 3 wind turbines. Actually, let's put a parenthesis right here and discuss a problem. The problem is this. Some of you might think you see the object passing in front of the wind turbines in some places, and some of you might think you see the object passing behind the wind turbines in some places. And there's a very straightforward reason for this. The object is actually nowhere near the wind turbines. It could be kilometers away from them. The camera that is being used to observe the object is heavily magnified, and that's had a flattening effect on the image. It's brought the object in the foreground fairly close, while it's brought the wind turbines way off in the background, very close. The object is actually in front of everything. What looks like the object being partially obscured by wind turbines as it appears to move by them. That effect is being caused because the very bright pixels, which are the object, are surrounded by a little halo of pixels. Astrophotographers would know this as the slight halo that can surround very bright stars when they shoot a photograph, even though a star technically is only about a single pixel in size in an image if the image were 100% true to the stars. This haze is caused by diffraction and atmospheric effects. And the effect is semi-random. Sometimes when the object is superimposed over the position of a dark wind turbine, the haze is darkened. And sometimes the haze isn't darkened. When the haze is darkened, it looks like the object might be passing behind the wind turbine. And if the haze isn't darkened, it will look like the object is passing in front of the wind turbine. This object was also shot in video, which is a series of very quickly taken pictures. Where one video frame ends and the next begins also affects whether it looks like the object passed in front of or behind the wind turbines. If a frame was shot at the very moment the object was superimposed over a wind turbine, it'll look like the object is passing in front of the wind turbine. Otherwise, it will look like the object went behind the wind turbine, further enhancing the illusion that the object is going in front of or behind the wind turbines and confusing the viewer's perception. Depending on how your own eye detects this optical illusion, you might think that the object is passing in front of the wind turbine, whereas another viewer might look at the object and think it's passing behind a wind turbine. Go ahead and test it. Show this clip to other persons and pause the object as it passes by wind turbines and ask them if they think it's passing in front of or behind the wind turbine. Alright, let's close parentheses and get back to our main thought. Now we see a fourth wind turbine even further away that the object appears to pass behind. It passes behind wind turbine 5 even further away still, and then we approach wind turbine 7, which is clearly closer, and it appears to pass right in front of it without changing course. Did you miss that? Let me show you it really up close. Watch again. The UAP doesn't change course, but it appears to pass in front of wind turbine 7, which is closer. The asserted UFO never changed course, never got closer, but somehow passed in front of the closer wind turbine. I have to say, after looking at this, if this is Admiral Galadet's idea of the video that stands out most, then science in the USA is in a scary place. I mean, what legitimate scientist is going to look at this and say, oh yeah, this is evidence of extraterrestrials visiting us? Beyond that, we have to consider some other very pertinent things too. For one, let's say extraterrestrial intelligences did exist throughout the galaxy, and some of them, much more advanced than us, had decided to visit our world. Do we really think what they're going to do is buzz wind turbines, Would an advanced intelligence be that enthused by a simple kinetic means of generating electricity? And if they wanted to observe human beings, do they have to come down into the atmosphere to just a few meters to a few hundred meters over the ground to observe us? The military can identify specific individuals with military satellites hundreds of kilometers up, using the powerful telescopes on the satellites. So why would an advanced alien species, capable of interstellar travel, come into low Earth atmosphere to observe us? And let's just say that for some reason, they did come into low Earth atmosphere to observe us. Why should we think that we could see them at all? Would not an advanced alien species capable of interstellar, possibly intergalactic travel, be able to hide itself quite well? After all, we humans, with our mere technology at its present state, have very good stealth technology already. Surely an advanced alien species could defeat any detection capabilities we have. For organisms with that level of intelligence, that sort of thing should be as easy as breathing. Further, what would their purpose be in visiting us? We humans spend a lot of time killing each other in pointless wars, and a lot of the rest of the time trying to amass wealth. I have a hard time thinking that a civilization that has reached the point where it is capable of interstellar or intergalactic travel with ease is going to be drawn to a species like ours, which is so driven by such petty, trivial activities. If anything, I think they would probably look at us and think we're about as interesting as bugs. Some persons think that if aliens were to visit us, it's because they are interested in invasion.
I traveled light years to chew blargum and kick human. And I'm all out of blargum.
Like most scientists, I think the idea that an advanced alien civilization would be interested in invading Earth is tantamount to ludicrous. If aliens wanted mineral wealth, they could visit any of our solar system's moons or asteroids and get it, and there's quite literally nothing we could do to stop them. And they would get easier access to a great wealth of minerals. There are asteroids in the asteroid belt that have fortunes worth of rare earths in them, more rare earths in them than we probably have right here on Earth, easily accessible, at least to a spacefaring civilization. If an advanced spacefaring species were to visit Earth and didn't want us to know, I doubt very much there is any way we could possibly know. And if they did want us to know, I don't think any governments on the planet or every government combined could hide it. Our technology would be less than a plaything to them. There's nothing we could do about it. I kind of wish an alien species would visit us, because suddenly it would give us perspective on our place in the cosmos, and perhaps we'd find better things to do with our time than blow it on bigotries and wars. So no, as far as I'm concerned, having looked at all the videos, each and every one of them is absolutely worthless, and that's at best. There's no scientific merit in these videos. I'm not surprised Admiral Galadet said that there was, though I wonder what his motivations are, because I genuinely don't think it's related to science. Though I generally consider the opinion of Admiral Galadet on scientific matters to be about the equivalent of a tabloid editorial on scientific matters. And if you are interested in science, I think you can do better things with your time than waste it on the DoD's so-called declassified UAP videos that they've released. Among other things, you could get out there and shoot the sky.